Sharon, I heard Adesewa was arrested by the EFCC. Busola whispered. Sharon raised her eyebrows in surprise. What happened? Why was she arrested? I still saw her flaunting some designer shoes on Instagram just last week. Busola leaned in closer, her tone dropping discreetly. Words on the street is that she is one of Honorable Sheyi's girls. She's been living large on his money. All those trips to Dubai, Paris, the designer bags and shoes. But now that he's involved in that corruption scandal, she is caught up in it too. Sharon's eyes widen. No wonder she's been quiet lately. Who knew all those glamour came from dirty money? Busola smirked. It was only a matter of time. EFCC is digging into everyone connected to him, and now they are after Shewa. All those Instagram posts won't save her now. Adeshewa's meeting with the powerful politician, Honorable Sheyi Bakari, marked the turning point in an already chaotic journey. Honorable Sheyi, known for his charisma and deep ties to the upper class of Nigerian politics, Sheyi Bakari was also infamous for scandal and corruption. Yet, his influence and wealth were undeniable. Adeshewa saw in him an opportunity to climb even higher in the social and financial ladder. Adeshewa's relationship with Honorable Sheyi deepened, and her life quickly escalated. She was now being introduced to even higher circles of influence, rubbing shoulders with governors, ministers, and international businessmen. It seems as though her ambition had finally paid off. Yet, as she entered this new world, the cracks in her life began to deepen. Their affair was passionate but transactional. Sheyi showered Adesewa with even greater luxuries, trips abroad, access to exclusive circles, and gifts that even our wealthiest previous blessers couldn't match. Her Instagram was filled with luxury, but behind the scenes, there was tension. Sheyi wasn't just a politician, he was also involved in several shady deals that made him really dangerous to associate with. But as she became more deeply entangled in his world, whispers began to surface. One day, the headlines exploded with news that shocked the entire country. Honorable Sheyi Bakari, the man who had been showering Adesewa with gifts and money, was implicated in a corruption scandal involving billions of naira in misappropriated government funds. The scandal was the talk of the town. Politicians, businessmen, and even journalists began investigating those connected to him. At first, she didn't think it would affect her directly, but soon, whispers started circulating in her social circles. The media hinted at the woman in Sheyi Bakari's life, and Adeshewa's name surfaced on gossip blogs. She began receiving strange calls from reporters, and her social media pages were flooded with curious onlookers and judgmental comments. Chief Bamidele, one of her blessers, wary of the association, distanced himself from her, and the men who once showered her with gifts became cautious. Suddenly, Adesewa found herself at the center of a scandal she hadn't anticipated. The media portrayed her as one of the women who had benefited from Honorable's illicit wealth. For the first time, Adesewa felt the sting of public scrutiny. Paparazzi swarmed outside her Lekki apartment, and whispered followed her everywhere she went. Chinyere, who had been a guide in the blesser's lifestyle, advised her to lay low, but the damage was done. Her phone was constantly buzzing with calls from people she once thought were friends, all wanting the inside scoop. The scandal reached even further than the media. News of Adesewa's involvement with Sheyi Bakari and her broken marriage reached her family back in Osun. Her parents, who had always been proud of their daughter, were devastated. Her father, a man of principle, could hardly believe the stories circulating about his daughter. It broke his heart that Adesewa had left Chike, a man who had been like a son to him. Adesewa decided to visit her parents, hoping to explain herself and find some comfort in their presence. But when she arrived, she was met with cold stares and silence. Her father finally spoke, his voice heavy with disappointment. Is this what you've become, Shewa? Is this the life we raised you for? His words cut deeper than any insult. She tried to explain that it wasn't as bad as it seems, but they wouldn't hear it. Her one supportive family was ashamed of her choices, and Adesewa felt utterly alone. As if things couldn't get worse, Adesewa's connection to Honorable Sheyi Bakari's scandals brought even more trouble her way. One night, while she was out at a high-end restaurant with friends, men in suits approached her. They were from the Economics and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC). They informed her that she was being taken in for questioning regarding her financial dealings with Sheyi. Adeshiwa was stunned when the EFCC officers took her in for questioning. The life she had carefully curated unraveled faster than she could comprehend. They suspected she knew where the missing funds were hidden. She spent hours in the interrogation rooms, her mind racing with fear. She was terrified of going to jail and losing everything. The reality of her choices was eating her heart. Her glamorous life had collapsed into tabloid scandal, bringing nothing but trouble. It was only through a combination of expensive lawyers and connections that she managed to avoid jail time, but her reputation was in tatters. Weeks after Honorable Sheyi's scandal erupted, Adeshawa received an official letter. Her bank account had been frozen as part of the ongoing investigation. She stared at the notice, her mind numb with disbelief. Everything was slipping out of her hands. Without access to her funds, she could no longer pay the rent on her luxurious apartment in Lekki. The eviction notice arrived 2 weeks later. Adeshewa, once the queen of luxury, was packing her designer clothes into a cheap suitcase, preparing to live the life she had built. She had nowhere to go. Her parents' home in Oshun was out of the question. The thought of returning to the simple village she had once fled from filled her with dread. She made up her mind and told few of her designers and was able to afford to rent a small apartment in Surulere. Few weeks after moving to Surulere, Adeshawa ran into Chike by chance at a supermarket in Surulere. The years had been kind to him. He looked well put together. For a moment, her heart tightened, longing for the life they had shared before things went out of control. Chike, she whispered, catching his attention as he turned to leave. He stopped, locking eye with her, but his expression was distant. Adeshewa, he replied, his tone neutral but guarded. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, she stammered, for everything. He sighed, the weight of their past visible in his eyes. You had everything, Shewa. No, we had everything, but you threw it all away for something that wasn't even real. His words pierced her, cutting through the layer of pride she had built around herself. She could barely respond as he turned and walked away, leaving her standing alone. Her chest tightened as Chike walked away, and for the first time, the full weight of her choices hit her. She hadn't just lost her husband, she had also lost the person she was once. Desperate to claw her way back into the elite circle, Adeshewa attended one final high society event. It was a lavish party thrown by one of the Lagos top socialites. She had dressed to impress, wearing a shimmering gown and her finest jewelry. But when she arrived, the stares and whispers were impossible to ignore. As she moved through the crowd, people quietly stepped away as though she carried a contagious disease. Conversation stopped when she approached, and the smiles she once received are turned into cold, judgmental glares. That Adeshewa, the one mixed up with that corruption scandal, one woman whispered to her friend. Another person snickered. She's now broke. How pathetic. Adeshewa tried to hold her head high, but the humiliation was too much. She excused herself and rushed out of the venue, her heart pounding with shame. The world she had once been a part of had now rejected her completely. Suddenly, Adeshewa was an outcast. The social circles that once welcomed her with open arms now treated her as if she were contagious. She could no longer attend the lavish events or mingle with the elite. Even her Instagram account, once filled with pictures of her glamorous life, became a battleground for trolls and judgments. As time went on, Adesewa's life continued to crumble. The weight of her choices, her marriage, the scandal, her family's rejection, the societal discrimination became unbearable. She began to suffer from anxiety and sleepless nights. Her friend Shinere, noticing how fragile she had become, suggested she sees a therapist. Initially, Adesewa scoffed at the idea, thinking therapy was for the weak, but eventually she gave in. Her therapist, Dr. Blessing, was a kind middle-aged woman who listened more than she spoke. At first, Adesewa found it really hard to open up, but over time, the session became a safe space for her. She began to confront the emotional trauma she had suppressed for years: her childhood, her failed marriage, and the toxic relationship she had built for the sake of luxury. Dr. Blessing helped her see the truth she had been avoiding. Her ambition had driven her to make terrible choices, and now she was paying the price. As her personal life spiraled out of control, Adesewa's health began to deteriorate. The stress from the scandal took a toll on Adesewa. She tried to maintain a public facade, but the strain was evident. Her once flawless appearance began to falter as she suffered from sleepless nights, anxiety, and emotional stress took a toll on her body. She found herself frequently visiting the hospital, not just for cosmetic procedures, but to address real health concerns. Adesewa looked in the mirror one day and barely recognized herself. The once vibrant, ambitious girl from Oshun had transformed into a woman who was emotionally exhausted and physically drained. The glamour of the blessed lifestyle had come at a cost she hadn't anticipated: her well-being. For the first time in her life, Adesewa was forced to slow down and reconsider everything. In one of her sessions with Dr. Blessing, Adesewa had a breakthrough. She admitted to herself that the life she had been chasing was empty. The luxury, the men, the designer clothes, it had all been meaningless. She had sacrificed her values, her family, and her happiness for things that didn't truly matter. Tears streamed down her face as she realized that she had been chasing a dream that wasn't even hers. She had been living someone else's life, not the life she had imagined for herself as a little girl in Oshun. At that moment, Adesewa made a vow to herself she would change. She didn't know how, but she was determined, this time on her own terms. As the scandal continued to unfold, Sheyi's trial went public. Adesewa watched from distance, no longer by his side, but still entangled in the mess he had created. It was in this dark moment that she began to question everything. The blesser, lifestyle that once seemed so appealing, now felt hollow. With time, Adesewa's priorities shifted. She no longer wanted to be the blessed girl. The fame, the money, the social media likes, it all felt meaningless. She wanted something real, something that wasn't defined by material possessions or fleeting relationships. Slowly but surely, she began to rebuild her life, distancing herself from toxic what that had once defined her. One day, as Adesewa was adjusting to her simpler life, she received a call from a new wealthy suitor, someone offering her another chance to get back into the world of blessers and wealth. The temptation was strong. With just 1 year, she could be back in the luxurious life she had once known. But as she listened to the man's offer, she thought back to everything she had been through: the broken marriage, the scandal, her family's disappointment, and the emptiness she had felt at her lowest. She hesitated. The temptation to say yes was strong, offering a return to comfort and luxury. But the thought of sinking back into that hollow life stopped her. She had come too far, and this was a moment of truth. "Thank you," she said, her voice steady, "but I am not interested." Hanging up the phone, Adesewa felt a strange sense of relief. For the first time in many years, She had made a decision for herself, not for money, not for status, but for her own well being. In a moment of deep reflection, she realized that forgiveness had to come with herself. Standing in a small village, she knew the journey ahead would be difficult, but this time she was determined to make her own choices. Standing on the other side of the storm, she knew she had the chance to reclaim her life. In the end, Adesewa Adeyemi had become a blessed girl, but at what cost? The price of ambition, greed, and betrayal had left her with more scars than success. As she stood looking out over the horizon, she knew that this was the only beginning of her true journey, a journey of redemption, self discovery, and perhaps forgiveness. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, hit the subscribe button and drop a comment below. Do you think Adeshawa could have made a different choice? Nigerian life, bringing life to every tales. Bye.